The council chamber of Celestia Prime glittered with the light of 1,000 stars. Representatives from dozens of alien civilizations sat in tense silence, their eyes fixed on the center of the room. Holographic maps of star systems floated in the air, showing the boundaries of territory, trade routes, and disputed planets. At the heart of the chamber, human ambassador Elias Rourke moved forward with steady confidence. Elias was tall and lean, with a calm presence that seemed to radiate respect. He had spent years studying alien customs, languages, and gestures. Diplomacy was his life, and humanity's reputation depended on his skill. Today he would speak with General Kael'thar of the Tyrak Dominion, a military empire known for its ruthless efficiency and strict codes of honor. The Tyrak were imposing. Their armor gleamed like black steel, their eyes sharp and calculating. "Ambassador Rourke," Kael'thar's voice echoed across the chamber, deep and resonant. "We have heard your proposals. Speak quickly. My time is valuable." Elias inclined his head. "General Kael'thar, humanity comes with an offer of cooperation. The new star systems in the Viridian Expanse can support multiple colonies. We propose joint administration and shared resources. This can prevent conflict and benefit all parties." Kael'thar's eyes narrowed. He leaned closer, his massive hand suddenly striking the table in a display of dominance. "Peace is for the weak," he said. Then, in a motion that stunned everyone, he struck Elias across the face. The council chamber fell silent. Some of the alien delegates shifted uncomfortably, unsure how to react. Others, especially the smaller, more diplomatic species, gasped audibly. Elias felt the sting of the blow, but he did not fall. He steadied himself, his hand brushing his cheek, and looked Kael'thar directly in the eyes. For the Tyrak, this was normal, a show of dominance and strength. For humans, it was an unforgivable insult. Diplomats were not to be touched, not even as a warning. Elias remained calm, but inside his mind raced. Every detail, every nuance of this insult was being recorded. Every word, every movement. Humanity would not forget. After a tense moment, Elias spoke. "General Kael'thar, your actions have been noted. Humanity values respect and dialogue, not violence. I will report this incident to the United Earth Council immediately." Kael'thar's expression hardened. He turned to his officers and barked orders in Tyrak, signaling the end of the discussion. The council session adjourned without resolution, leaving a heavy silence in the air. Back on Earth, the news arrived within hours. Screens across the planet showed the video of the council chamber, capturing every moment of the strike. Leaders and citizens alike watched, some in disbelief, others in quiet fury. Humanity had always tolerated arrogance and aggression from the galaxy's larger powers. But this time the insult was direct, personal, and Public. President Anna Koran convened an emergency session of the United Earth Council. Her voice was steady but firm as she addressed the gathered representatives. "Ambassador Rourke has acted with dignity and restraint even in the face of insult. The Tyrak Dominion has misjudged humanity. We cannot ignore this. Our people demand justice, and we must respond with clarity and strength." In the weeks that followed, Earth prepared quietly but efficiently. Shipyards ran around the clock, building new warships and upgrading defensive fleets. Strategic planning teams analyzed Tyrak systems, supply lines, and military tactics. Humanity did not rush blindly into war. They acted with precision, intelligence, and discipline. Meanwhile, in the Viridian Expanse, Elias continued his work. He had not been physically harmed, but the weight of responsibility pressed heavily on him. He contacted Tyrak officers seeking dialogue, but Kael'thar refused to engage. The Tyrak believed that humans would back down, that their pride would crumble under the pressure of alien power. They were wrong. Human intelligence teams had already mapped the Tyrak fleets and supply routes. They identified key choke points, communication hubs, and resource depots. Unlike the Tyrak, humans did not rely solely on brute force. They used creativity, strategy, and adaptability. Every action was calculated to maximize efficiency and minimize unnecessary risk. As preparations continued, whispers spread among the Tyrak ranks. They noticed that human colonies were rapidly uniting under a single command, their technological innovations advancing faster than predicted. Fleets that had been scattered across the galaxy began coordinating in ways the Tyrak could not anticipate. Even Kael'thar began to worry, though his pride would not allow him to admit it openly. Elias returned to Earth to report the full scope of the situation. His presentation to the United Earth Council was calm, factual, and compelling. The Tyrak Dominion believes this was a minor incident. They are mistaken. Humanity will not tolerate disrespect. We have the means to protect our colonies, our people, and our honor. We must act decisively. The council deliberated for days. When the vote was cast, it was unanimous. Humanity would declare war, not out of hatred, but out of necessity, dignity, and the defense of their place in the galaxy. The first strike was precise. Human fleets entered Tyrak space in coordinated formations, avoiding populated worlds while targeting supply stations and communication arrays. The Tyrak were caught off guard. They had expected hesitation, not decisive action. Human ships moved with speed and adaptability, employing strategies that confounded the larger, more rigid Tyrak fleets. In one notable engagement near the asteroid cluster of Rhinox, a small human squadron faced a much larger Tyrak fleet. The Tyrak assumed victory was guaranteed, but humans used the terrain to their advantage. Asteroids were used as shields and decoys. Mines were deployed strategically, and the squadron exploited the Tyrak's slower response time. By the end of the battle, the human squadron emerged victorious with minimal losses. News of this success reached both Earth and Tyrak territory. Humans celebrated, not for the destruction, but for the affirmation that they could protect themselves and assert their rights. Tyrak officers were shocked. The human species, which they had long underestimated, had proven that intellect, adaptability, and courage could overcome raw power. As the conflict escalated, Elias remained a symbol of human diplomacy and resilience. Though he had been struck and humiliated, he now represented humanity's strength in the face of insult. He continued to send reports and recommendations, coordinating with fleets and advising on strategy, ensuring that every human action was guided by purpose and honor. The Tyrak, for the first time, began to see humans as a formidable species. Kael'thar struggled with his pride, realizing that his culture's emphasis on brute dominance was no match for human ingenuity. He attempted to send emissaries to negotiate, but humanity, united and confident, refused partial solutions. Respect had to be earned, and the Tyrak had to understand that their actions had consequences. In the final moments of Part 1, human fleets massed near the twin moons of Valtor 9, ready for the decisive engagement that would determine control of the Viridian expanse. The Tyrak forces were strong, but the humans had shown time and again that strength alone could not guarantee victory. Intelligence, strategy, and unity gave humanity the advantage. Elias stood on the command bridge of the flagship Resolute, looking out at the stars. "This is not just a war for land or resources," he said quietly to his officers. "This is a war for respect, for dignity, for humanity's place in the galaxy. We do not fight out of hatred. We fight to protect what we are and what we believe in." The stars glittered beyond the viewport, and in that light, humanity's determination shone brighter than ever.